I got slides and one page here. It does need a preface though, because we've seen financial numbers already. But this analysis that I put together is not based off of GBB's hypothetical estimates. Is actually from a presentation that First Piedmont gave to you all during the work session. So I'm using their numbers that they actually provided, more concrete numbers rather than the rough estimates, which proved to be wildly off. So given that everyone knows all of life's problems can be solved with an Excel spreadsheet, I think we should go in that direction. So if we go first to expanded landfill cost with Region 2000, starts out around $2 million in the first year. This is per their agreement that I took their tip fee numbers from. Moving on, transfer station operations in the first year would be around $3.3 million if you used the high range from First Piedmont's quote. They said it would be between $60 and $65. But all of this financial analysis uses most cautious and conservative factors to determine future costs. So I use $65 here. Difference in cost starts at 1.3 million in 2029, and that's 1% of our entire budget. We have prepared for this financial transition. Transitioning away from the landfill was part of the rationale to effectively increase real estate taxes by 17% in fiscal 24, which was passed and is currently in effect. Also, as a result of moving to twice-a-year billing, we have $16 million in reserves held aside for this transition. With that, if you can see on the next slide, keep going forward, that's transferred. There's the cost difference, and then one more. Yep. And then, so there's, if you looking at the reserves that have been held for this transition and the cost difference, that's when the cost difference actually kicks in using those reserves. That's starting in 2040. Not included in those numbers is the $3 million in interest earnings that we recently received and we're not expecting. Also, we have growing local revenues currently at $77 million with an average growth of 4% every year. Another factor to be considered is the landfill is suppressing real estate values in the area, which indirectly lowers our revenue. Virginia law requires properties to be assessed at 100% of fair market value per Section 58, Chapter 32 of Virginia Code, and market value does impact assessments. So peer-reviewed studies on property value suppression show an average of 12% lower values within 2 miles of landfills. The low range average is 8% with a high range average of 17%. This analysis just uses 8%, which only yields $230,000 initially, but it is a factor that should be included. And I want to especially thank Teresa Phillips in the real estate office for getting me a lot of the real estate data for properties around the landfill area. That was really helpful. When you combine all that factors, that's what this slide finally is. Combining all those factors into one, you basically get a total financial impact just combining those factors. It's $2.8 million over 29 years without any changes to our budget. Next slide. If you reduced the local revenue increases below average to 3.6% and allocated 2% of those new revenues to waste, you have zero financial impact after 29 years. After that, you no longer need the 2% additional revenue and you're in a better financial position than you would have been if you went with the landfill expansion. That 2%, you can barely see it there, that little red line there. The 2% of new revenue starts out at only $50,000 of the $3 million total. It's that tiny red line allocated to waste next to the green line of new revenue growth that we receive every year. Moving to a transfer station would not blow our budget out of the water. It is better for our long term. And looking at this map specifically, and this is my quick last point here, Campbell County is 500 square miles. We should not expand a landfill in the heart of our county, right on top of medium to high density residential. It's not consistent with our land use map. It stifles growth from Lynchburg and it does not serve us well in the long term. The Planning Commission voted to reject this and this board voted in 2018 to reject this expansion as well. And those votes should be honored tonight. And that's why we ask you to vote no on the expansion. So thank you.